has a weapon on this
That is
panel?
so
Who
horrible.
carries a weapon?
I
I
do.
have a
I
I
do.
have a pocket poker
Oh,
on my
Well,
Okay,
keychain.
you said,
Excuse
Doctor,
me.
you say
Hey,
you have a weapon?
hey, excuse me, y'all.
I
I'm
do.
not carrying one to high school.
Okay, well, Mike, you're
I
excused.
had one all through
You don't
middle
have a.
school, high school.
They are. They can own rifles at the age of
Hey,
18 in Texas.
hey, y'all. Hey, I'm
The
Carmelo's
law.
dad. I just want to say something. Hello?
Yeah,
Y'all, can
yeah,
y'all hear me?
yeah.
So, first thing, let's get something understood. He wasn't charged for carrying a knife. If y'all look at it, he was only
Poker.
charged for murder one. Secondly, the same guy that just said about him taking his son to school to fight. So what about if you take your son to school to fight and your son knock
Exactly.
him out and kill him? Then what?
Unalive.
Unalive.
Use
Unalive.
TikTok crime.
Unalive. Sorry, unalive. What do you do then?
I'm mute your mic, Mike.
I was going to ask the same question.
What do you do then, sir?
What do you mean? What do I do? He was
If
defending
you
himself.
just said you would take your son to a school to fight. So if he hit him and that kid gets knocked out, and that's a one-on-one, this ain't 2-on-1. He gets hit and he kills him. Meaning he hit him and hit his
Unalive.
head on a rock. Unalive. Keep saying this. I'm not used to this, y'all. But I don't know why I jumped in on this tonight. But what do you do as a father? It's like we can't win. So you took
He'll go
your
to
son to
jail.
school, so you gonna get accessory because you took him to
That
school.
actually happened. Carmelo's dad. That actually happened. I know. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, Mike, if you're familiar with the case by Kaylee Gang. Her mother drove her to the school after she was suspended to fight a girl, and she ended up in a coma.
Well,
She got slammed into concrete and got put in a coma for months
and
due
that's
to
what we
her
do.
permission.
Also, just another scenario. I
I
know
ain't gonna lie.
somebody who
That is a good point. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We can't. Hey, it's like this, honestly. And I'm gonna let y'all go. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so
See how we
cold?
been out on the mission, making bottles paper. We had to
We
stick
will
up
make
in the
America
Charlotte,
proud
we
again.
get just
When
we
you
shit
try
like
to
pop out the
kill
chick.
our
All of them
citizens,
talking my badass feel like Lisa was living, but taught me the
we
ways
will
they
make
keep. Don't need me a pot, I
America
can
wealthy
microwave.
again.
I
And
ain't
yes,
lying, just like a
together,
bitch. Went from that city
we
to the spot,
will
now we
make
even still running. Now they
America
gon' die by the
great
inch. That bitch is in
again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Just when you think it don't get any better, guess who comes out and makes it better for this murderer, for this killer that they claim is a hero, that they claim is no self-defense. Bringing a knife to school property, to a track meet. His own father. Oh man. Father speaks out and has broke the internet on a live during a TikTok live stream. You just can't make this up, man. But I hope everybody that is tuning in right now that you are blessed, well, and healthy, man. It is one love to the human race. You know, right from wrong, common sense. You know, shout out to all our parents that are tuned in. You know, we want to send our prayers, love, and condolences, especially to the Metcalf family. We seen how they have been attacked, spit on, you know, and how the school district and judges are going about this, you know, and how it looks like they're going to be a little lenient on him because he's 17 and, you know, maybe it was just a mistake, or, you know, he did this and that. He was a good child. He had good grades. Oh, you know, but he is being charged as an adult, as he should be. Again, y'all, right from wrong, man. But again, there are parents. I know we was talking about in earlier videos. You guys showed so much love, support, kind donations. So many people have loved on me, man, for just speaking the truth, being real. You know, we all know what this is. Racially motivated. You know, it's brought a whole race war. The kid could have went out and killed any white person, and it'll be still the same reaction from the BLM scammers, the black community. You know, the same racist thing they're saying on the donation site with the give, send, go. It got so bad they had to shut down the comment section. That's how bad it got. You know, again, he could have went out and killed any white person. But that's where we're at, man. And it's sad. It's a disgrace, man. You know, but I know there's parents out there. I know we were talking about this could have been prevented, better parenting. Maybe the parents could have done better. But sometimes, you know, we can't always put it on the parents, man. There are some parents, and there's some tuning in right now that do everything they can. They've done everything they could. You know, they've been involved. They was there. They supported their child. And they still go out and do the wrong thing. They still go down the wrong path. I see it a lot in my comment section, man. So huge shout out to my parents. I love you guys, man. You know, and this young man should still be alive. He died. Blood gushing out of his chest and his brother's arms. You know, on school property. You know, and then the kid, he advocated for all of this to happen. You know, touch me, do this, do that, do that. You know, looking for trouble, and then wants to cry. Oh, officer, could it be self-defense? Oh, can I speak to anybody? Can I get a lawyer, a spokesman? Is it self-defense? A spokesman, a convicted felon, you know. Everything they're doing is just fraudulent. The security team fraudulent. Living in big nice houses, you know. It's all gonna come out, man. You know, we hate accountability. We hate accountability. We know that we're wrong, and we hate accountability. You know, it's sad, man. It really is. But in a TikTok live hosted by an individual who refers to Karmelo as a hero and is arguing self-defense, a surprise guest appeared. Drew Anthony, Karmelo Anthony's father, joined the live and stated he wasn't charged with carrying a knife. He was only charged with first-degree murder. During the live, Drew made some unusual statements. What if you took your son to school to fight and your son knocked him out and killed him? Yeah. You'll be an ancestry. This video has been submitted to the district attorney working on the case. You know, basically saying, you know, I gave him the knife. It is good that he bought the knife to school property. And, you know, I can kind of just sum that up for you. You know, again, you guys, I was in these guys' shoes environment just a couple years ago. I was a star player, football player, athlete. If you was on varsity, you had to run track or coach was cutting you from the team. It was like a mandatory thing. You had to participate in varsity track, in the boys track team if you played varsity sports, or the football team. That was like at our school, you know. It didn't matter if you were a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. If you were on varsity football, you had to be a part of the track team. So usually most of the star track players, the star track, you know, people were the ones who all were on the football team, you know, at our school. Some were on the baseball team, the basketball team as well too. Yeah, I was just in these guys' shoes, man, participating at the track meets and everything. So I know about when it comes to these tents and, you know, how things can go on. And that's why I say, man, there's no way you can say this was self-defense, you know. On school property at a track meet, having a knife. There's just no way that this kid is some kind of celebrity, some kind of hero, and claiming self-defense, you know. And everybody's calling this out for what it is, man. People are sick of this crap, you know. Playing victim. We hate accountability. You know, but again, it's all gonna come out, man, and it's all gonna. We know who has the final say, you know. But let me know how y'all still feel about this situation. In case, again, want to send my prayers, love, and condolences out to the Metcalf family. You know, again, right from wrong, y'all. Right from wrong. We know we've donated and helped a lot of people out on this channel. giving back to thousands of people, you know, but we've never donated or supported a killer, a murderer. You know, we've helped families that, you know, lives have been devastated by killers and murderers and illegal gang member criminals. Those are the only cases that we supported on this channel. Nah. But most people don't realize, man, that, you know, sometimes they're raising thugs. Has nothing to do with skin color. That they're raising thugs. Then sometimes they do the best they can not to raise thugs, and they still go out and make thug decisions. Hey, you know. But it's only getting worse in this generation that we're living in, man. The music, the entertainment industry, everything. Social media, it's only getting worse. So I tell my parents, be involved. Keep being amazing leaders and mentors, right from wrong. It is only getting worse. And the next generation is in big trouble. Big trouble, man. You know? But right from wrong, man. And everybody knows who was dead wrong. Dead wrong, man. You know? And then to see how the family was treated, how, you know, the spokesman acted and come out. I mean, just a complete disgrace, man. And come to find out they might have to give the money back. A lot of fraudulent things have taken place. You know, a lot of misinformation. People that know that they're in the wrong, trying to make up excuses. And this, that they want, and that the school wants to, you know, the district wants to be paid $8,000 some to release all the emails. And there's tons of us content creators that are willing to pay that $1,000 to see, you know, what is being talked about, what is going on with this case. You know, what did that principal say? You know, they're saying they're giving him a break. The black principal, the black judge, they want to help a black brother out. You know, everything is related back to skin color, sadly. You know, but hey, it could be some truth in that. I'll let you guys decide. You know, but we have no sympathy for the victim's family. You know, we hate accountability. You know, it's racially motivated. The kid could have went out and killed any white person. It'll still be this exact same response. So just, you know, if this was black on black, we never would have heard of it. If it was reversed, we know how it would have went. So, you know, you can't justify this, man. It's not self-defense. The kid is not a hero. The kid should be put in handcuffs and walk back to the jail cell. You got to live and die behind your decisions. Decisions come with pros, with positives and negatives. Positives and negatives. Pros and cons. Rewards and consequences. You have to live and die with the decisions that you make in life. Every single minute, we are making decisions, you guys. And that kid made a decision. That young man, not a kid, that young man made a decision. And he should be charged as an adult. Got this woman up here crying like her son passed away. It's a disgrace.
My heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
You come for me, I come for you. Sarah Fields. Never heard of this woman.
Then he pulled the Kyle Rittenhouse out. He should be Kyle Rittenhouse. They should have had a lawyer. I mean, he should have been sued, man. He should have gotten sued for some of the things that he said up here. I mean, completely a fat lawsuit. When we can clearly see what actual self-defense is. When the evidence is all over the internet, 4K footage. He should have got sued, man.
Kind of despicable things that led to the father being here. political operatives motivating this family.
And the father wasn't invited. He showed up just as Karmelo Anthony wasn't supposed to be there. Wasn't even supposed to be there. They say he was skipping school. He's been expelled for doing this and that. He's known for, his classmates say he was known for fighting. And this guy here has a complete rap sheet. I mean, just a complete rap sheet. You know, and this is their spokesman. They could have did a better job, man. But this guy's a complete disgrace. You know, a fraud, BLM scammer, convicted felon.
Family with hate. Karmelo Anthony posted on something that shows, posted here. These are the type of lies that are threatening this family. Posting the family's picture. These are the type of lies. She's getting millions of views.
You know, I said it was only a matter of time until Karmelo Anthony's father spoke. But, you know, damn it, bro. I thought you were going to do a press conference, or you were going to have a lawyer read your statement, or maybe you would go to a reputable news station and say your thoughts. Man, oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this random TikToker called Israel ELT Ratch 47 God or some shit like that, right? He goes on this random guy's TikTok to just go and have a little rant. Now, I don't know why he picked TikTok of all things to break his silence, but it just came off as like, bro, where's your mind? This is how I know Karmelo Anthony. Let me not assume, but I feel like they didn't teach this kid certain things that would have kept him out of trouble long enough. Because what type of shit is this? His dad.
I told y'all, man. Every day I go out, I know that I'm a reflection of my parents. You know, and just by seeing some of the things we've seen take place in this family, you can kind of tell that, you know, maybe they could have did a little bit better. You know, but that's not always the case. Again, there are a lot of amazing parents that are even tuned in today that have, you know, their own child, you know, children. Some have done good. Some have done down terrible paths. I see it a lot in my comments. Rick, I have 2 daughters and 2 sons. One of my sons chose the wrong path, and I taught them all the same. I led them all down the right path. I did the best that I could do, Rick. But one of my kids just chose the wrong path. They made terrible mistakes. They didn't learn from the first incident. They just couldn't get it right, Rick. I tried everything I could. And my heart goes out to that parent. Because some people give it all they got, man. And they still don't get the results that they want. That's life. But you could tell with this family, something is off. Very off.
Is doing shit that I would have never done in my. You went on social media to clear up a few things. Of all places, you go to TikTok in a room full of random people to try to give your son's side of the story. How does that make sense to you? Now we're gonna go ahead and watch the little live.
And again, I played the full video for y'all in the beginning of the video, so you already seen the video.
It's like a 2-minute long clip, but his dad really comes in there and starts laying shit down for the folks, for the random nobodies online. Why are you trying so hard to fight public perception? It's already fucked. Worse for yourself. And make no mistake, all the people who are saying like, yeah, Karmelo's a hero, blah, 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 they know they're lying to their damn self. Know that this is a fucking crying on the news, crying behind Daddy Dominique. He should have just hugged Dominique from the back real quick and told him, I love you, brother. That's what he should have did. But now he wants to say a few words. So let's go ahead and check this thing out real quick. That intro, and I'm not about to redo it. So if the audio sounds a little different, that's why. Now we have the microphone on. But anyway, Israel ELT 7 God, right? This really know about the page that deeply, but apparently they come up here and they have discussions about topics.
Again, y'all know these TikTok, and I've been a part of TikTok lives. Again, TikTok live streams. And it's now a lot of people run their show on TikTok. A lot of people have these conversations of who's right, who's wrong, whose side they're on TikTok. Again, a lot of you are probably a part of these TikTok live streams. They do a lot of debates, a lot of discussions on politics, on Trump, on anything that breaks the news. People talk about it on TikTok live streams. So TikTok, I'm not surprised that the father was in one of these TikTok live streams defending his son. I'm not surprised, you know.
Society, and they were talking about the Carmelo Anthony situation. So they're just talking. And during that time is when Carmelo Anthony's father joins the conversation. So let's check this out. First time we're hearing this voice, at least on my side.
On this panel. Who carries a weapon?
I have a pocket poker on my
Okay, you said
Excuse me. Hey,
you have a weapon.
hey, excuse me, y'all.
I'm not carrying one to high school.
Okay, well, Mike,
I'm not carrying one to high school.
I had one all through middle school, high school.
They are.
She had one in middle school. Yeah, that's how you hit. She probably went to a middle school in the hood in the projects.
They can own rifles at the age of 18 in Texas.
Hey, y'all. Hey,
well, the way it worked at my school, if they found you with a knife, they would take it away from you, right?
Yeah. I have, people I grew up, friends that got expelled. That was it for them. If you got caught with something, that was it, And that's why we see people now, the parents are outraged with the kid being able to still receive his diploma from that school, And I don't blame the parents that are outraged. I don't blame them. I got people that were literally skipping class, or they didn't kill anybody. They got caught with a little bit of drugs and stuff like that. And guess what? They couldn't graduate. They didn't get their diploma. They had to go somewhere else and get it. They had to go to some juvenile, thing, some other thing, and get their diploma. They weren't allowed to get it that year. They weren't allowed to come and celebrate with us. And guess what? They didn't kill anybody. So I'm with those parents right now that are outraged with this school district.
I'm not sure if I ever carried knives to school, but as a teenager, I'm pretty sure I had a knife on me before. Like, you have to walk home. I had to walk home from school. I've gotten robbed before. Actually, a couple of times, attempted robbery. Just they try to take your shit. You're a kid.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like you need to take things with you. But the one thing I will say, if the school ever caught you with one, they would take that shit away from you. You're not supposed to have it. And that's coming from a school in a different country. So I'm assuming in America too, like, come on. No knives at school, guys. Like, come on.
Yeah. Especially at a track meet.
We knew that if we got caught with the knife, they would take it away from us. It's not like we're trying to go around the school stabbing people, but you wouldn't want to have it on you, right? We all knew that if they caught us with a knife, they would take it away from us, because what the fuck? Talking about. I guess they felt the need to caught. Did you stab somebody at school with it? Like, come on, what are we talking about?
In Texas.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm Karmelo's dad. I just want to say something. Hello?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
So, first thing, let's get something understood. He wasn't charged for carrying a knife. If y'all look at it, he was only charged for murder one. Secondly, the same guy that just said about him taking his son to school to fight. So what about if you take your son to school to fight and your son knock him out and kill him? Then what? Unalive. Sorry. Unalive. What do you do then?
The reason they say on the live, you guys, again, these platforms are very sensitive with words, sadly. Even sometimes on YouTube, but a lot on TikTok. On TikTok, they will shut down the live or, put a community note and strike on the live if you say certain words. That's why we have to say on the live, we can't say or dead, stuff like that. This is for people that I know some of y'all are like, man, why do people have to change their words? Why we can't just say, and keep it real? But again, things get censored, sadly.
Well, what you do then is go to the police and face your consequences. Like this guy. So this question, I didn't understand what he was trying to get. I don't understand where he was trying to go with this hypothetical, but he posed the question, well, what happens if you take your son to school to fight somebody because they were bullying him and he accidentally kills him? What then? I'll tell you what happens then. You're probably going to go to jail, big dog. What the fuck are you talking about? That we make. You feel disrespected, you want to fight that man? Go ahead and fight that man. To school, okay, maybe he wasn't intending to use it, but then you go ahead and use it, then you got to face up to those consequences. Like, okay, but it's not the same. It's not the same as somebody's bullying my son. I'm not even there, or maybe I am, but somebody's bullying my son, harming him, and he reacts and protects himself, and that kid accidentally dies. That's something completely different. If you're at a situation and go home and you tell me about it, I'm your dad, and then I take you back to that school to go and fight that kid, we're both getting in trouble. We could have handled that in a different way. You understand what I'm saying? Well, you want to go fight that kid because you felt a certain type of way? Do your best to not kill him. You know what I mean? That's a bad hypothetical he's posting, because what then? The what then for you, Mr. Anthony, is that you would go to jail also.
Unmute your mic, Mike.
I was going to ask the same question.
What do you do then, sir?
What do you mean? What do I do? He was defending
You
himself.
just said you would take your son to a school to fight. So if he hit him and that kid gets knocked out, and that's a one-on-one, this ain't 2-on-1. He gets hit and he kills him. Meaning he hit him and hit his head on a rock. Unalive. Keep saying this. I'm not used to this, y'all. But I don't know why I jumped in on this tonight. But what do you do as a father? It's like we can't win. So you took your son to school, so you gonna get accessory because you took him to school.
That actually happened. Carmelo's dad. That actually happened. I know. I don't know, Mike, if you're familiar with the case by Kaylee Gang. Her mother drove her to the school after she was suspended to fight a girl, and she ended up in a coma.
Well,
she got slammed into concrete and got put in a coma for months.
and that's what
For me,
Also, just another scenario.
I ain't
know
gonna lie.
somebody
That is a good point. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We can't. Hey, it's like this, honestly, and I'm gonna let y'all go. I appreciate you.
who has a weapon on?
So I just wanted to post this because it finally gives us an idea of like what Carmelo Anthony's father is thinking about, what he's going through. At this point, we know he's watching all the live events. He's watching the videos because he even said, like, I don't know why I jumped up here tonight. But you guys tell me what he's really trying to prove with that hypothetical. I don't think he's trying to defend his son in that situation. I think he's more so trying to rebut something that this guy Israel said on the live stream. But I really don't know where he was going with that hypothetical, because in both situations, I would say y'all are going to jail.
It's wrong. Like both situations, it's just wrong. You know. But again, I know he's going through a lot. I know as a father, man, I know it hits different. I know you want to, say your son is a hero. Your son is this. Your son is really not in the wrong, as a father. And again, even for most fathers, they still don't want to, come to the truth and just openly admit it. Like, yeah, we were in the wrong. My son was in the wrong, But, like I said, it won't happen with this with the Anthony's family.
Son to fight that kid and he dies, you're going to jail. A kid comes and starts bullying you and you increase your force by stabbing him or shooting him when he just wants to fight you, you're going to jail.
It's no self-defense. The kid is no hero. The kid is a murderer, a killer. And then you can't just run and cry self-defense. It doesn't work that way, man.
About that situation. We're all going to know by the time trial comes, but I think this is a lot more cut and dry than a lot of people are trying to make it out to be. But anyway, moving on from that, we got a little bit more fun in the land of Twitter, right? Because do you remember that petition where they signed for Hunter Metcalf to go to jail because he was involved in the situation, even though his brother was the victim?
Disgrace,
There's
man.
this guy on Twitter now called Mike Baggs. So Mike Baggs, big on Twitter, it seems. He's got like 54,000 following. You know what I mean? Not too bad. Nothing like NGAN. So at least if he posts something somebody will see it. But just like I said, that petition for Hunter Metcalf to go to jail finally caught some traction because now this guy is reposting the same bullshit. And I believe because of him, there were more signatures posted. So let me show you something. It says change Hunter Metcalf under the felony murder law for his role in the death of his brother, Austin Metcalf. You know how stupid that sounds? So that
It's a disgrace, man.
Holding him, did you know that I could go to jail also for just being there? That's the dumbest shit. Now everybody can see how stupid you are. Why? Please delete this because you're really displaying that ignorance for the world to see.
Again, it's always the BLM scammers, the BLM activists, you know, with all this stupidity, racism, hatred, you know, derogatory. I mean, you just, nothing new here, man. You know, a whole petition, you know, we have black people have no sympathy for a loss of life, you know, the victim's family. We hate being in the wrong. We hate accountability. You know, the black community is a disgrace, man. And not all blacks, you know, but the black community is a disgrace, man. The BLM movement, complete scammers, fraudulent, you know. We're seeing this thing go on with black fatigue. People are sick of the foolishness, the ignorance, the stupidity, the hatred. People are sick and tired of this crap, man. But we know who has the final say. Let me know what you guys think of all this. And Carmelo Anthony's father speaking out. How do you feel about that video? Again, we played it in the beginning just so you guys could hear that full thing. You know, because I want y'all, when you come to this channel, this show, most of the time I put the steak and potatoes. I put the good stuff in the beginning, you know, and then we could just have a good conversation at the end, you know. But keep it real with me in the comments, man. I love y'all. Y'all have an amazing rest of your week. Getting close to the weekend. It's one love to the human race, man. Again, I hate that this race war, that we have to talk about skin color, how divided we are, how they've went about this entire, you know, situation. How we have no sympathy for the victim's family. You know, they have just dragging these people through the mud, you know, after losing their son, praising a thug, a killer, a murderer, you know, crying self-defense, you know, it's a disgrace, man. But let me know what y'all think. You know, again, we're always going to be fair, right from wrong, common sense, and speaking the truth. You know, I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next one. And huge shout out. I want to send a huge shout out to AG Tactical. Y'all can give him a check out, a look at. I'll put his channel right here up on the screen. You know, tell him you seen him on OkayRickk. Most definitely want to give him a shout out. AG Tactical. You know, great video, great views. Again, I told you, it's a lot of people speaking out. Doesn't matter what your skin color, but as you can see, a lot of black people are speaking out to this foolery, this nonsense. You know, they're speaking right from wrong, common sense. You know, people are sick of this crap, man. People are sick of the victimhood. You know, told y'all, man, a lot of people are waking up. It's 2025. It is 2025, man. You know, they see how these other cases have played out. They see what's going on, man. And it has nothing to do with skin color anymore. People are waking up from this crap. They're removing it. And it's right versus wrong.